Talking about practice, what's up? We are Barely Ballers. What's up, like ATR Sports? I'm Vintage Jackson, joined by the Kiwi kid, the kid from Hobsonville Point, born and raised, suburb Spiders, Alice Craigie. What's going on, Bubba?
No, nothing much. How's it going over there? I heard you guys just got another week of lockdown. Did I
Yeah,
see that right?
yeah, I think so. I don't know, bro. Yeah, no, we're essential, so we're in here at the moment. But yeah, another week and through until whatever next Friday is the 16th or some shit. But fuck, you go to Bondi at the moment. It's like summer. It's like fucking spring break down that bitch. Yeah, I wish I could say like respectfully. Like I think everyone's been pretty good about it, but compared to like back home, for example, like when Auntie locks it up back home, everyone just goes, "Okay, miss," and goes home. Here, there's a little bit
New
more.
Zealanders are pretty.
We're sheep. We follow the crowd.
Basically, yeah.
We do what
Aussies don't give a fuck
at all, and it's a nice adjustment. I'm going to be honest with you. But obviously, this is NBA Finals time. We are predominantly an NBA podcast, so we're going to dive straight into that. We had game one today. Phoenix, far too good. I had to watch the thing with the sound off, which was torture because we had a lot of work here to do. But I more or less got the gist of the game. You, of course, watched it, Ellie, I assume.
Yeah. Watch the second half. Bits of the first and then the second.
Gun. Oh, hang on. What have I done here? Yeah, no, sorry. Lukey was I thought I was recording in the wrong view, and he would have literally slapped the shit out of me if I was doing that. Yeah, no, it was obviously a gun game. I thought probably for the first three quarters there, I thought it was quite an arm wrestle. I know even in the third, going into the third when the league got up to 10 or 15, I still thought Chris Middleton could kind of drag the Bucks back into it, but CP3 just took over. Jay Crowder with one of the great all-time finals performances, 0 points. And I had him under 10 and a half, so I was looking forward to that, but I actually lost on the Drew Holiday rebounds in my multi. But that's for another day. Let's start with the game. First of all, get your thoughts on it, man. We'll roll into the picks off the back of that, but just your immediate reaction to the game. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, no, pretty, like, not to sound like, I saw that coming, but kind of saw it coming because obviously Giannis's first game back in, I don't know, about 10 to 14 days, something like that.
I don't think he was playing. I don't think he was
Yeah, he was game time decision. So, yeah, obviously anyone that's game time decision isn't 100%. So I didn't think he would be great. I think he was like 6 of 11 with 20 points, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty quiet, and the Bucks just can't win without a fully healthy Giannis. And yeah, I mean, fuck, Chris Paul though, 12 of 19, 32 points. Like he's just fucking going insane. He's always been able to score, but he's just never been a big scorer because he's obviously behind James Harden, and then I thought
Blake Griffin before that.
Yeah. Well, Lob City was kind of quite a lot of sharing. He did a little bit of scoring, but mainly an assist guy. And then even coming in, even during the season, he wasn't really putting up massive numbers in the points department. But these playoffs, he's just gone, all right, Devin Booker, you do your thing, but let me fucking work my magic as well, because he's just going insane.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a statement game from Chris Paul. Now, I had a ridiculous same game multi on. Long story short, hit 5 legs, missed 4, but one of them was Devin Booker over 28 points. I think he finished with like 27 or some shit.
He had 27, yeah.
But Chris Paul, I had on all of his overs, and he hit pretty much all of them. I didn't have the rebounds. I think he just missed that.
Right.
But I assumed he was going to pop off. It took him a little bit longer in the game to do it. But yeah, it was an amazing game. Obviously, I picked the Bucks in the series. I think you did too last week.
Yeah, I've got Bucks, yeah.
We both got the Bucks. So nothing changes for me in that context rolling forward. So like if we start to look now, I suppose our next subject is what does game one mean and where do we see the series going? I still had the Bucks winning. I was all hanging my hat on whether or not Giannis was going to be healthy. The fact that he even played game one and looked all right, he wasn't Giannis, but he was, if I had to put a percentage, I'd say 70% from what I saw.
He had again 6 of 11 shooting, 20 points, 17 rebounds. Like he wasn't, by no means was he a liability. He had that really good chase down block of Jay Crowder's layup, I want to say, maybe Mikal Bridges. The LeBron-esque sort of block of that game 7 against Golden State. So he can move. He just just first came back. Chris Paul was pretty bad when he first came back from his COVID protocols in the Western Conference Finals, and that wasn't even injury. That was just not playing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so Giannis, the fact that he played full stop gives me confidence to say that I'm still going to take the Bucks. I think it's going 7 games, though. I would have said last week, I think I said Bucks in 6. And this, obviously, I had them winning this first game. So I'm going to say Bucks in 7 now. And in terms of if we're going to start forecasting, because we love to do a bit of that with a bit of finals MVP jam. I know everyone's jumping on the Chris Paul bandwagon at the moment, and it would be a fucking cool story if they win. But because I have the Bucks winning, I'm going to go the safe route. And I'm going to say Giannis is going to win finals MVP, because I think from games probably 3 through 7, I think he's going to take over.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I have the Bucks in 7, and I also think the Suns are going to win game 2 as well.
So do I. And there we go. There's a bit of jam.
And then I think the Bucks will win 3 in a row, and then Suns, and then Bucks again. But yeah. So Bucks in 7, and yeah, I don't know. I'd probably say Giannis for MVP, like finals MVP. That would be the safe bet. But Chris Middleton,
what about a Smokey?
Yeah, if the Bucks had have won today, and because Middleton had a pretty good game, like 29 points or something like that, just under 50% from the field. If they had have won today, I think that really, really would have helped Middleton's case. But again, if I go, like in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe Middleton has a chance. But then if I think logically, well, I think the Bucks are going to lose game 2, and then Giannis will be, I think, at least 95% healthy by game 3. So like you said, he probably will start taking over. So yeah, probably hate to agree with you, but Bucks in 7 and Giannis.
Sorry, jumping back in there. That was my fault. I don't know what I'm doing here without Luke. I seriously don't. I'm a lost soul. But yeah, I'm going to throw a little 2-part question at you off the back of that, because I've got my answer to this. But let's go hypothetical for a second, because there's 2 things we love to do in this world. We love to punt, and we love to dreamcast shit that's probably not going to happen. But if the Suns win, which is a real possibility, of course, they just won game 1. What do you reckon finals MVP there? Are you going to go Chris Paul, or are you going to go a different route?
Yeah, I'd probably go Chris Paul if they do win.
They love
it's tough. Like obviously Devin Booker's right there. But I just think with like Devin Booker will probably be slightly better in the stat line. But again, if you look at the finals MVP past, like again, Andre Iguodala won it when the Warriors won their first chip. Kawhi Leonard won it when the Spurs last won their chip. Like they do look at like who actually had the most impact on the game. And unless Devin Booker's putting up 40 every single game, I think everybody knows Chris Paul is the main reason that the Suns are winning. Again, give Devin Booker his flowers, everything like that. He's a great scorer, blah, blah, blah. But the Suns also did go from not making the playoffs last year to being the number 2 seed in the West, and now making the finals with just basically the addition of Chris Paul. So I think if the Suns do go on to win, I'd have Chris Paul for the finals MVP.
I disagree, which is good, because I'm sick of fucking agreeing with you. I think if they go on to win it, I think they're going to go with the kid. I think DeAndre Ayton, he was my most...
not even Booker, Ayton.
I'm going to go Ayton. I think he was, as obviously Chris Paul in that third quarter and then the start of the fourth took over. So without a doubt, he was the player of the game. But I thought through about 70% of that game, DeAndre Ayton was the best player on the court. I was about to say on the field there. He would be the best player on the field if he played Union. But I think DeAndre Ayton has gone to another level with Chris Paul there. There's no one on Milwaukee that can hang with him in the paint. Like, he is ripping down boards. No. He's getting straight over the top. I love me some Pepe Lopez. I do. But he can't hang with him down low there. Giannis obviously at the moment is hobbled, and he's not a big. Giannis, what is Giannis?
He's a big. He's a big.
He's a big wing.
He's a big.
What I mean? But he's not a big in the pure DeAndre Ayton sense of the word. That's what I'm trying to say. So down there, he kind of is a man amongst boys. He's doing his own thing. I think if the Suns go on to win this, it's going to be because DeAndre Ayton is averaging fucking 15 boards and 25 points a game. So 20 points a game. So I think he is my Smokey. I'm going to say obviously Giannis, because I think the Bucks are going to win. But if you're a Suns fan and you think, no, the Suns are going to do this, I'll be having a real fucking lick on the kid DeAndre Ayton.
Well, that little article that I sent you last week about this was after Giannis and Trae Young had got hurt, and I just wrote a bit about a potential Hawks Suns final. In that bit in the Western Conference Finals, I said that DeAndre Ayton was definitely the Western Conference Finals MVP, and this is what the little article was about, saying like, if it was Suns Hawks, would it even be that good a matchup? And then, someone like DeAndre Ayton winning the Finals MVP, I just thought it was a little bit lackluster.
Sick. No, I get like that.
Nah, not really. I get where you're coming from. I think DeAndre Ayton if the Suns win, potentially can average, 18 points and 15 rebounds. I still think just the the general control of the game. And also, if you really break it down and look where Aiden's points come from, if you really dissect them, none of them are his points. Yeah, they're basically all of them are assisted by Chris Paul, or he got to the free throw line because of Chris Paul. So they do kind of break it down a little bit more in Finals MVP rather than just, you scored the most points, here it is, like they kind of do with the fucking regular season MVP award.
Yeah. I know Chris Paul only had 9 assists in that game, but like the majority of the rest of Aiden's points were like putbacks and stuff like that. Like, I know I say only 9 assists. Like,
only 9. Only 9.
But I'm saying like Aiden scored a lot of points. So it wasn't all Chris Paul, but the majority. I agree 100%. It's off that pick and roll shape with Chris Paul. So in the grand scheme of things, they will love a storyline. Chris Paul's the sort of face of it. I get it. I'm just saying I'm a stats.
I just think
for 70% of that game, I love DeAndre Ayton, but I get it.
Yeah. But Chris Paul is 16 as well. Give the man, give him something.
Why does everyone hate him? I kind of hate him.
I love Chris Paul. I've always liked Chris Paul. He's just never been on that. I mean, I don't like James Harden, so I didn't really root for him when he was at the Rockets. But fuck, I loved Lob City. That Clippers team was awesome.
I don't know why. Like I watch him and I'm like, fuck, that is unreal. Fuck, he's so good. And then he starts talking or something. I'm like, fuck, I don't like this guy. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just jealous because I don't quite have the handle like him. Although I think now we got to wait a whole nother week to play basketball here. Fuck, I was getting nice with it too. You would have liked it, man.
Oh, fuck off.
I swear to God, you ask Scope, every time the kid gets in the paint, I swat that shit away. I'm like the own DeAndre Ayton of YKTR, just quietly. Sweet, I can't score for shit though, so I'm probably more like, who's a center that blocks but can't score? Boban?
Yeah.
I'm more like Boban.
Yeah, Boban. Or what was that dude? For the Timothy Mozgov.
I'm Mozgov. Yeah.
Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah, nice raw white Rough Rider. I'm actually Timothy Mozgov.
Jakeem Noah. There you go.
That's exactly
you look like him too.
Yeah, big fucking nose on it. Too. Yeah, I'm definitely the Jakeem Noah of YKTR. I'll take that. Lukey's going to fucking edit me on that as well. Let's stay on that hypothetical. If the Suns win, which would obviously mean the Bucks lose, we start to obviously then roll into that off season. This is what we're going to do here. We're going to play devil's advocate for both sides. If the Suns go on and win it and you're Mr. Bucks GM, you've got the fucking war chest of money and you've got the big captain's hat on, what do you do with that Bucks side, man? Because obviously I think we're all in agreement. The only reason they're in the finals is because Brooklyn got hurt. I think everyone with their fucking right mind can see that. So if they go on and lose to a Phoenix team that probably shouldn't be there either because of LeBron's injuries, etc., do you think they blow it up or do you think they roll with this current side? Because they have a nice roster. They've got an all-star MVP talent. They've obviously got Middleton. I don't know what he is yet, but they've got that sort of Robin to their Batman. If you're the GM, do you blow it up or do you roll forward?
I don't necessarily just blow it up, but I absolutely see what I can get for Chris Middleton. If you don't get a superstar, you need a player better than Chris Middleton. So obviously you're going to have to give away some picks or whatever and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't just go, oh shit, okay, we didn't win. This isn't working. Just get rid of Holiday and Middleton and everyone like that. But I definitely shop around to see what I can get for Middleton. Maybe try to package him up with some picks, or I don't know if anyone's interested in Pat Connaughton or any players like that. But
try get a I'd be interested in Pat Connaughton.
Try get a Bradley Beal or a Damian Lillard, someone like that. But you have to get somebody better than Chris Middleton, because I just with what the Nets have done we talked about it last week or the week before with what they've done with going so top heavy. I just don't think that depth is going to beat them, because in the playoffs your rotation goes down to 6, maybe 7 men, if that. So you need to be almost as good as them on the talent wise at the top level, and you have to just outplay them in the games. And at the moment, Chris Middleton and Giannis just aren't good enough. Personally, I don't think Beal and Giannis would be good enough either. But again, if you're the Bucks GM, you can't just go, oh, well, we can't beat them, so fuck it, I'm not going to do anything. But yeah, I definitely do. I do trade Middleton and look to trade Middleton and Holiday, see what you can get for them.
I think, I don't agree with you in the sense that if they lose, I don't think they have to make a roster change as significant as moving Middleton. I think it could even be as simple as adding journeyman and role players to that current side. I think if you were able to build that roster, I think they're there, man. Like, obviously I had the Bucks in the preseason, so I'm fucking biased with this. I had the Bucks and the Clippers, so at least one of my sides is in there. Useless can't. But I don't think. I think losing Middleton, you lose I think, a part of what that side is. I like when you said Bradley Beal because you were kind of replacing a similar player, but just upgrading. I like that. But if you start shopping Middleton around and you start getting offers for guys like, I don't know, he's always my default, but like Porzingis, or you start getting deals for.
No, you have to get someone better than Middleton.
Better than Middleton. He has to be able to do what Middleton does. That's what I'm trying to say. He has to be able to spread the floor, shoot the lights out. And there's probably 4 guys. Dame's not going to fucking Milwaukee, Wisconsin, mate. I'm telling you that right now.
He wants to win. He's in fucking Portland. He's lived in Portland for his whole life. It's not exactly that much
Oregon's
of a
supposed to be nice, isn't it? They got
no.
I don't know. Don't act like you've been there. What are you saying no for? You don't know.
I've been to America. No, Portland's cold as shit.
So is Green Bay, Wisconsin, mate.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So it's not a downgrade at all. It's just moving to a different city.
Okay, well, anyway
continue.
My whole point with that is I like the Middleton, Holiday, Giannis core. It's everyone else that I'd be looking to fuck off. So I would be fucking off Lopez, gone, as much as I love me some Pepe. Connaughton, white boy with hops, gone. I'd throw everyone else into that mix. What's his brother still doing on the roster? Get him the fuck out of there. I'd move
Costas or Thanos.
Don't care. Oh no, one of them just signed with the Greek team. The guy who's at the Lakers. I think that's Thanos. I think
Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Thanos. But anyway, that's what I'd be looking to do, and add a guy, not Jay Crowder, but those type of players. I'd look to add maybe a PJ Tuckery, Jay Crowdery.
They have PJ Tucker.
You know what I'm trying to say? Those type of players. I think they need more PJ Tuckers. I think they need 3 more of that, and then they're a chance. So that's only if the Bucks lose. Again, we're playing hypotheticals here because we both think they're going to win. But let's flip it over then. Phoenix Suns, obviously CP3 is the big storyline. He has the player option next year. I'll kick us off here. If the Suns lose, the question I was going to ask you was, do they look to move some things around? 2 parts to that. One, I think Phoenix is an attractive enough market that they can aggressively go after a Bradley Beal type of guy and try and get someone else, another big player, to come join them. CP3, I don't know if I've ever seen him happier, and that's just obviously optics looking at this. He's usually the whingy fucking guard that doesn't get on with people. He seems to genuinely get on with Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton loves him to bits. He loves Monty Williams. Is it Monty Williams? What's the coach's name?
Monty Williams. Yeah. He's had a long relationship with him.
Loves Monty Williams. So I think he executes that player option straight away. I think Chris Paul stays, win, lose, or draw in this thing. I know you can't draw, but it's an expression. I think Chris Paul stays no matter what. And I think if they lose to the Bucks, all they simply do is they look to plug in maybe another veteran or a nice free agent pickup that they can land for not a lot, develop Ayton to another level. Booker goes to another level. Chris Paul stays pretty much as good as he is for, I think he's got another 2 years kind of at this level. Maybe he starts to slowly dip away a little bit, but I think he stays, man. I can't see him losing purely based on the fact of how happy he looks in Phoenix.
I'm glad that we're again disagreeing on something. Win, lose, or draw, I think he leaves no matter what. Yeah. If they lose, I definitely think he leaves. And I think if he loses, I think the Lakers are a real possibility. Again, I know I wrote a piece a couple of weeks ago saying that the Lakers don't have much, but he has a player option. So fuck, they'll work something out. He might take less money. LeBron can restructure. AD can restructure so they can all get, 25 instead of 2 of them getting 40 and 1 getting 15. And then if they lose, which I think they will. Sorry, that was if they lose. If they win, I think Chris Paul is smart enough to realize that, they beat, in this hypothetical, they beat the Bucks. But if KD and Kyrie and Harden were there, or if LeBron was healthy and AD didn't get injured,
Kawhi was healthy.
I think, if even Kawhi was healthy, I just think he's smart enough to understand that this is a good young core, but against these, Booker and Aiden are doing their thing, and it's Trae Young, all these young guys, Jason Tatum, love him, all doing their thing. It's not their league yet, though. It's still LeBron's league. It's KD's league. It's James Harden's league. It's those 30-plus-year-olds league still, and these young teams, the Celtics, the Suns, the Hawks, they just don't have what it takes to beat these older, they're definitely veterans by now sort of guys. So I think even if they win, I think he leaves. If they lose, I think he goes to a team like the Lakers, like real top heavy. If they win, I can see him going to a Miami Heat or not Boston, but a team like Boston. Like a team that's, I think, slightly better. Take Chris Paul away from it. I think the Celtics are a better team than the Suns. So if you add Chris Paul, what's that?
I disagree with that as well. I don't think there's anyone like Devin Booker on Boston. I don't care.
I think Tatum's better than Booker, but anyway, that's potentially for another day.
Yeah, how long can this podcast go for? That's not even.
Tatum's definitely better than Booker.
You think Jaylen Brown's a better player than DeAndre Ayton?
No, but I think Tatum and Brown are better than Booker and Ayton.
Fuck, you must like Jason Tatum. Jesus
Fuck
Christ.
Yes, he's a problem. Considering the Celtics have made the playoffs the last couple of years without another big superstar. Kemba Walker is not a big superstar, and the Suns haven't done shit without Chris Paul. Anyway, that's for another day. So win or lose, I think Chris Paul leaves. Again, if he wins, I think he goes to a mid-level team to really elevate them that can win. Again, Miami Heat or a team like the Celtics, but I just can't see him going to Boston for some reason. And if they lose, I see him going to a top-heavy team like the Lakers, potentially the Clippers.
Fuck me. Okay. You were losing me, and then right at the end, you way lost me. You're out of your fucking mind, but you're drinking red wine, so you're obviously pissed, so I'll let that go. But obviously, look, you might not have any fucking education when it comes to basketball opinion, but you do your best work on the basketball punt. I will give it up to you there. So I've asked you to come up with a little same game multi for the dribblers and out there, mate. You got anything for us? What time's the game? Friday, eh? Friday?
Yeah, 12:30 or 1 o'clock. I think
I
haven't looked. All right, so I've got three certain ones because again, I think the Suns are going to win. So again, what do you call them? The bets aren't out yet.
Oh, the markets, yeah.
The markets, that's the word I was looking for. The markets aren't out yet, so I can't see the over-under as anything like that, but I've got Devin Booker, 25 points plus.
Yep.
Chris Paul, 20 points plus and 8 assists plus. And DeAndre Ayton, 15 plus points and 12 plus rebounds. So that's my safe multi. Again, I can't see how much that's paying. Yeah. If it's not paying that much and you want to juice it up a little bit, I'd go Middleton, 25 points plus, because I think Giannis still is going to be a little bit wary and take a lot less shots. And I also think Holiday will play a little bit better, but not much better. So I'm just keeping him at 15 points plus.
Yeah, I think today...
if the Suns one is paying enough, I wouldn't add in the Bucks ones.
I think off the top of my head, Devin Booker today was the points was 27. The over-under was 27.
Yeah, they have the over-under, but then they also just have the markets of like 10, 15, right. 20, 25. Right. For someone like Devin Booker to score 15 points plus is going to pay like fucking $1.07, something like that. But 25 points plus, along with those other Suns ones, I think it should get around, $2.50 plus. And me personally, I like to put big money on small paying odds rather than fucking what you do and put $5 on a 20-leg multi and try to win $100,000.
And it hits though. You won't be getting any of that fucking $100,000. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Well, look, that'll wrap us up for the basketball. We'll obviously be back next week with a fresh perspective from Game 3. Right? We'll come back Wednesday with Game 3. But
Game 4 might have even been played yet.
No, I don't know, bro. I don't know how that works. Yeah. But we are going to finish with a little bit of UFC chat. Obviously, we got Conor McGregor fighting this weekend when my phone decides to load. So we're just going to run through the main card. I posted today on YKTR the mag. Got a little bit of jam on basically every leg of the main card. Obviously, the prelims are fire as well. But it's Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3. Ali is a self-confessed UFC fan. He knows the sport. But you probably admit that you don't know everyone that deep in the card. Yeah, the main card.
Yeah, I know the fighters, but I'm definitely a top-heavy kind of UFC guy.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to start at the bottom of the main card. Obviously, Sugar Sean O'Malley bitched out of fighting my boy Kai Kara France, so they've thrown him in there with some poor UFC newcomer. Listen, I think it's going to be. Well, I've gone Sean O'Malley to win in the second round. So just because I'm chasing a bit of jam, that's $4.50 there. Second round, he could easily get him out there in the first.
Yeah, first round KO. Sugar Sean, first round KO.
I don't know too much about this Chris Motinho. I'm going to say Motinho. But he comes from a very good camp over there. But I would just say UFC debut, short notice fight. You're fighting an up-and-coming star like that. I think he's tough enough from reports and from what I've read to hang in there with him, maybe for a round rather. But I think Sean gets him out of there. He's going to KO him.
Sean by KO. If I was putting money on that, I'd just go Sean KO. Picking rounds is tough for UFC.
Yeah. And then on to the women's bantamweight fight. And we're not going to get too political here, but we all know why this is on the main card. even though there's better fights on the early prelims. Facts. It's a good fight, but I'm just saying there's gun fights on the undercard, and this is on the main card. But anyway, let's roll through women's bantamweight fight. We've got Irina Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. Again, it's a good fight stylistically, and Kunitskaya is actually the dog in this one. So I've gone her by points just because typically women's bantam fights aren't finished. The overwhelming majority is points. It's $2.40 for Kunitskaya. If you've watched her fight before, she's 14-5, but you probably shouldn't look too much into her record because I think purely on the face of it, she has the skills to be a future world champion. Striking's off its fucking head. She's the underdog in this fight because Aldana's a dog, but I think Kunitskaya, if you're backing her to get it done, I think she wins on points. So I've chucked that one in there at $2.40. You know anything about either of them, Ellie?
I do not. Nah, those names don't ring a bell.
This one will, though. Greg Hardy up against Bam Tuivasa. Now, let me tell you this right now. If this goes 3 rounds, it's going to be the worst third round in UFC history.
Sloppy jalopy, like fucking country Roy Nelson versus Mark Hunt type shit.
They'll be like me and you one-on-one basketball. Like they will be gassed. So I'm going to go the big fella. I'm going Bam Bam by first round KO in this one. I think he's going to win. And I would assume if Ty's going to win, it's going to be knockout. He's got on his profile, his favorite jiu-jitsu move is get up. So he ain't going to submit him. So he's going to come over the top with one of those bombs. I think this is way too early for Greg Hardy. He's going to get flatlined. I can see it happening early in the first round too. So I've got Tai Tuivasa. I think it's at $4 there.
I got Greg Hardy winning by KO for this one. I don't want to say a fan of Greg Hardy, but
yeah,
I don't know if I've ever seen a more aggressive man. So I got Greg Hardy.
It's not even a dumb.
Maybe second round.
It's not even a dumb punt. Like usually I'd rip into you picking a guy who's a massive underdog like that. But when they're heavyweights who crack like this, he could easily knock out Ty. But I think Ty should, with his sort of Tiger Muay Thai background, he should be too slick because Greg Hardy just throws those big looping punches. Ty should be too slick and should fucking catch him with a check hook and flatline him. So that's where I'm going to go with that one. The second fight, I know everyone's gassed for this. I think it actually has the potential to be a little bit boring. We've got Gilbert Burns. This is the co-main event. Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson. The reason I think it's going to be a bit boring is because I think Wonder Boy's legitimately, if he wins this, I think he's a legit title shot. So with that being said, and I think Gilbert Burns has fallen in love with his striking way too much as well. I think I can see 5 rounds of Wonder Boy Thompson staying at distance, avoiding the takedown and picking him apart without landing anything significant. So I've gone Wonder Boy on points, and it's at $2.40. So I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's a fucking barn burner and Gilbert does get him down, threatens submission. Wonder Boy knocks him out with a spinning fucking karate kick from wherever the fuck he's from. But I can see this one being a little bit boring, to be honest.
I'm surprised that you're surprised. You're saying it's going to be boring. I picked this for quite a boring fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Wonder Boys had. Or? Yeah, I just don't think Wonder Boys had very exciting fights in the past few years, to be honest. And personally, I'm not a fan of Gilbert Burns. I just don't find him an exciting fighter. I don't rate him that highly either. I definitely have Wonder Boy, and
he's coming in off back-to-back decision wins, Wonder Boy. Like, they've been good fights. Like, Vicente Luque was 2019, I think, and then 2020, was it Jeff Neal? Someone I'll check. Yeah, Jeff Neal. He beat with a decision as well. They're all comfortable decisions, but he's got a plan. He obviously knows he's a little bit older. What is he now? He's
just slowed down quite a lot over the last. Yeah, you can tell that as well, because I was about to say he's definitely slowed down over the last 2 to 3 years, and that 35-year-old males, you can argue some are at their prime for that, and then you start nearing 40. Fuck, you drop a lot. That's when the cliff comes legitimately. Obviously Tom Brady jumped over it, but for most humans, that's when the cliff comes.
Yeah, I agree. So you're going to go with what?
Yeah, Wonder Boy on. I'd probably go. Yeah, I'll go TKO just to be not agreeing with you. I'll go TKO in the 5th.
I think we both got him to win, but it's going to be tough. Yeah. I'm going to go decision. I just think that's the type of fighter he is now, and unfortunately, it's going to be rolling forward. He's probably going to get a title shot and get fucking mopped as well by.
I don't think he'll get a title shot. I think Dana White sees that there's no because what's that, welterweight? So that would be against what's his name, Usman. I don't think that's that marketable.
Just feed him to Usman. Let him gobble someone else up.
Usman unfortunately needs to fight Izzy, which he never will. They've said they're just, they have too much respect for each other. But he's too good for welterweight. There's no one in the welterweight division at the moment. He's
also in the weird body shape that he's not a guy that could easily just jump up. Like, he would be small for that division and he's massive for welterweight. Wasn't that weird?
No, he said if Izzy lost to, who did he last fight? What's his name? Vettori.
He
said Usman said if Izzy lost that fight, he would move up to fight the middleweight, but he's just said he's not going to fight Izzy. So I think he could move up. Usman's quite a stacked man. I think he could definitely put on another, 170 to 185, 6-7 kgs. I don't think he could do that. He just wouldn't have to cut.
Yeah, I disagree. But anyway, we'll leave that there. Let's jump across to the main event then. This is one that you do have a bit of balls deep knowledge on. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. I'll give you my tip first, bro. I've got McGregor. It's a $2.30. It's a little bit safe. Of course I do. It's a rematch. McGregor wins rematches. So this is, for anyone out there, if you're on that Conor fucking dick train that I'm on and you love him and you want to see the return of Mystic Mac and you think he's going to win, there's only one scenario in which he wins, and it's by knocking out Dustin. Because we've known by history has told us two things. It's told us Dustin gets better as fights go on and Conor fades. I don't care about how hard he's trained or whatever. Conor fades. And he also has a little, and it breaks me to say this, he has quit in him. Legitimately, you see it in his face. When the pressure gets turned on, you saw it in Khabib, you saw it in the first Nate fight, you saw it a little bit in that second Dustin fight. No,
Grizzly Bears have quit on Khabib, so you can't say that.
Khabib, fucking countries have quit on Khabib. But I think Conor, so with that being said, if you think Conor's going to win like I do, it's going to come in those early rounds. So I've got Conor in under 2.5 rounds. So basically inside 2 rounds. And I think that's a legitimate, it's paying $3. If you think Conor's a chance of winning this fight, he's going to knock him out. I think he is. I think you've learned obviously to check fucking leg kicks. Like if you're an idiot if you think Conor's just going to come out there, get leg kicked and get folded again. He's going to adjust to that. So Dustin's going to have to come with something different. Maybe he threatens a takedown. Conor has really good takedown defense. He managed to hold Khabib off him for a long time until eventually the Russian bear just started chewing on them ankles. But I think Conor knocks him out. I think he knocks him out in the second. And I think he's return of the Mac, baby.
Yeah, so I agree with you that if you think Conor's going to win, usually TAB has a fighter winning rounds 1 to 3 or 4-5 in decision. I would definitely be going Conor rounds 1 to 3 if I thought he was going to win, but I don't. I think he's going to get his ass knocked out again. I think this fight is going to be very similar to the last fight. I think it's going to last a little bit longer. So Poirier knocked him out in the TKO'd him in the second, was it last time?
Yeah, I think Conor clearly won the first round, then got.
Yeah, absolutely. Conor dominated the first round, and then I just think he gassed. And again, obviously it is a bit of ring rust and everything like that, whatever you want to call it.
He was also doing the old sink pajamas. He had his yacht there. He was chilling.
Yeah, like you can train as hard as you want, but again, everyone knows about match fitness.
Some guys are just
Conor just didn't have it. So, but I think it's going to be the same. I think Conor wins the first, maybe even the second, but I don't think he knocks him out. I think Poirier keeps quite composed, starts working in the third, and then I think he TKOs him in the fourth. I just think he outdoes him in terms of volume strikes from the third onwards. I think he lets Conor gas him out for a bit. I just think his game plan will be, obviously, I'm not saying don't punch in the first and second round, but just sort of let Conor tire himself out a little bit, just keep his distance, throw the jab a bit, and then in the third and fourth round, when you see Conor start to tire, which everybody knows he does, then start, throwing that Poirier volume.
Interesting. Well, I disagree, but I can't disagree that you have some sound logic there. And I also threw this to you last minute. You've come in with a bit of UFC knowledge. So you've surprised me. You might not know a fucking clue about basketball because you think Jason Taylor's a Booker, but you finished a bit of UFC chat. This is Daily Ballers. We'll be back next week, talk all things NBA, UFC, I don't know, whatever else Alex has been up to. Catch ya.